Hi, welcome to my channel, Grit, Grind and Gratitude, where we talk to micro entrepreneurs about their journey of becoming a micro entrepreneur and walking that path. Grit, Grind and Gratitude shares stories of resilience, of purpose, and values led entrepreneurs who are shaping their futures boldly. Hi, Rafaela. Welcome to Grit, Grind and Gratitude. I have very fond memories of meeting you in South Africa, and it's my pleasure to bring you onto the channel for our listeners. Please, would you introduce yourself to the world and the work that you bring to people?
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I feel really honored to be here and to have this talk with you. So I'm Rafaela, I'm Brazilian, but it's been 12 years that we left Brazil. I left Brazil because of my husband's work, so to support his international career. And now we already lived in South Africa, where we met, Panama 2 times, Switzerland, and now we're based in Mexico.
Wow, what a journey there.
Yes.
Yes. So take us back to the time. I know you were working with an investment fund after your you did your MBA from Brazil, São Paulo. Yeah. Tell us more about that life.
Of course. So I was graduated in business in INSPER, which is a very good institution in Brazil, in São Paulo. I'm from Brasilia, but when I was 17, I moved to São Paulo to study business. When I graduated, I started working in an investment fund, which was the most which was the investment fund that has the highest return to the investors by that time. And I stayed there for 1.5 years. Then I quit and started my journey as a sales manager, which was also really nice for me to understand how to deal with people, how to be more pragmatic, and to learn to sell my own ideas. I think that's a very good and important skill for everyone to develop, the art of sales. And so that was what happened in Brazil.
Yeah, and then take us forward to what happened. How did life take its course, and how was Monarca born?
Of course. So when my husband proposed me, which was in July 2013, we got married in November. Then February, we moved to Panama. So I decided to support his international career. But by that time, I thought it would be really easy for me to find a job in Panama. But when I got in Panama, I didn't know how to speak Spanish by that time. I didn't know anyone in the market, and I didn't have the work permit. So it took me about like 1 year to get an offer from Philips by that time. And once I finally got it, my husband's boss came and said, "I have some news. So you guys are moving to South Africa." And I was like, "What?" And I remember my husband and I, we were discussing, and we knew that I was not able to work in South Africa because of apartheid, because I was a foreign white person. So I said, but something's telling me to go to South Africa. And then when we moved to South Africa, I knew I wouldn't be able to have to work in multinationals, but I said I will invest in myself. So I started to volunteer in townships in Johannesburg. I did a lot of courses. I started meditating. I met you. I met awesome people from all over.
I did the executive coach course, right? Yes, that's how we met.
Exactly. And I did my first international coach certification. And I remember when I was doing this certification, I said, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. I was completely in love with the methodology, with working with people. And then in South Africa, I started to work with as a coach, but then I had to define a niche. And I said, okay, what is going to be my niche? And I said, trailing spouses. So trailing spouse is the person who leaves her or his country to support the spouse international career. And it's been 12 years that I'm a training spouse. And in South Africa, I start working with training spouses as a coach. I loved it. That's when we met, and I had the opportunity to coach you, which was amazing. Then in South Africa was born my first child, Bernardo. And when he was 6 months, we moved to Switzerland. Everybody told me you won't be able to find a crash for Bernardo because it's really hard to find a crash in Switzerland and it's really expensive. And I said, I'm Brazilian and I'm Capricornian. I will find a crash for Bernardo because I need to get back to my work. Against all the probabilities, I actually got a crash for him. He started for the first week. Both of us, we were prepared for it. I was so happy I would be able to work, but then COVID started. And instead of working, I had my little one in my house for the whole day without being able to have my freedom in Switzerland because we were in lockdown, everyone, the whole world. It was really tough. And then my second child was born. I moved from Switzerland to Panama. And that was when Monarca started, Monarca was born. So Monarca, because it's a butterfly, and butterfly means transformation. That's what all my services are about. So everyone who is served by Monarca needs to live her transformation. And nowadays, Monarca has individual coaching. This year, I started with group coaching, so it's kind of a mentoring, a very structured project to help women explore their full potential and understand better their identities, together with other women that live the same realities as theirs own. So individual coaching, mentoring, group coaching. We also have retreats. I've already run 2 editions of retreats for expat women, which was amazing. We had sound healing, meditation, yoga, temazcal, self-knowledge dynamics. And the last thing is that next year I will launch my book for TCK, for Third Culture Kid.
Wow.
Telling the moms Bernardo's story. And it's the book I would like to have read to Bernardo when he was struggling when we moved from Switzerland to Panama, because Bernardo was 2.5. He was learning French and he was learning Portuguese because we only speak to him in Portuguese, and he was learning French. But when we moved to Panama, even though he was in an international school, all kids had Spanish as their mother tongue. And Bernardo was the only one who was Brazilian and had Portuguese as his mother tongue. So it was really tough for him to communicate. And he has like 3 months. He was so frustrated. Nobody could understand him. He was not really understanding his colleagues. So it's going to be a book to serve as a hug for moms who are suffering with this struggle because their kids cannot communicate in a different country because they don't know the language yet.
Wow. So, and this is such a big problem, not a problem. Actually, we want our children to be exposed to different culture, especially in today's world, cross-cultural knowledge, sensitivities are very important for us. And it's so nice to know that you've turned what are your challenges
Exactly.
into bringing it bringing it to the market. Wow, wow.
And it's more than that, tips, because I truly believe, because what I've seen during these 12 years is that a lot of trailing spouses, they don't take advantage of this amazing opportunity they have of being abroad. So Monarca is born to create a movement that believes that you don't need to give up your dreams to support your husband's dream. You can support your husband's dream, meanwhile, you are working on your own dream.
Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Right.
Tell me, you mentioned while talking about Bernardo and the third culture kids, you talked about the challenges of language. And now you've moved as a Brazilian who speaks in Portuguese, and you've moved to Panama. And Panama, what is the language there?
So Panama, they speak Spanish. And
Spanish.
for Brazilians to learn Spanish is really fast because there are a lot of similarities, and Portuguese is a more complex language compared to Spanish. So for Brazilians to learn Spanish is really easy, even though the other way around is not true. So for people who speak Spanish, they struggle to learn Portuguese.
So, from Portuguese to a Spanish speaking country to South Africa, where English was well spoken, like popularly spoken, and English is not your first language.
Exactly.
And from there to Switzerland, what is the language they speak there?
So Switzerland, they have three languages, three official language. The German part, who speaks German, the Italian part, and the French part. So we were based in Geneva, which is in the French part. So it was French, and I didn't know how to speak even bonjour in French, and I was, oh my God, I need to learn that because when Bernardo was going to a French crash, none of them spoke English, Spanish, or Portuguese. That was the three languages that I speak by that time. And I said, okay, I'll need to learn French. And that's what I did. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. before Bernardo to study French. And then I managed to understand French and communicate. I had like an intermediate level for French.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
and from Switzerland to back to Panama, Spanish you knew, and then back to Mexico. What's the language there?
Mexico is also Spanish. So
Okay.
it's easy.
So, how many languages now do you know? Portuguese, Spanish, French,
And English,
and
4.
English. Four. Wow. And
Yeah.
and then now your offerings. How do you make sure what language do you bring your offerings to the people?
That's a very good question, Deeps. In the beginning of my career, I was focused on women from all over the world. So I had Swiss clients, Indian clients, Italian, British. But then when I decided to market myself on Instagram, produce content, I said, okay, which language should I produce content? But I was starting it. So I said, I need to minimize complexity so I can act. I can act because I truly believe that that complexity is against action. So the better you make, the more you make it simple, it's easier for you to act and create the momentum. That's what we call in coaching. And I said, okay, I'll do it in Portuguese. So 2 years back, I started producing content in Portuguese. So a lot of Brazilians are coming, and that's what I'm 100% focused now. I'm not marketing my services for other nationalities. It's not that I'm not going to market, but nowadays, 90% of my clients, they are Brazilians.
Wow.
And
And
what I just find out is that, for example, for the mentoring group, I already had two classes, two groups, and I'll have the third and fourth in January. Is that even though most of them speak English or speak Spanish, it is completely different for you to open yourself, to explore your vulnerabilities, in your mother language compared to English or Spanish. So I feel that when you have Brazilians together, or you have people from who has Spanish as their mother tongue together, they can connect and communicate even in a deeper level.
Okay, cool. So
Does
tell
that make
me,
sense for
it
you?
makes
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense. So are you thinking now, break us, break your business down and tell us what are the parts? I know you taught yourself CapCut, and you're doing the marketing on Instagram yourself. So tell us a little bit more about how you educated yourself on that, and are there
Wow.
any parts of your business that you are outsourcing?
That's also a very good question. So I truly believe I have an amazing product regarding the coaching process because for since 2017, so 8 years, I've been working really hard and studying with the best from the market. So I've attended to a Tony Robbins event last December in West Palm Beach. I had a course with Shazat Chamin. I was mentored by the best coach in Brazil. I'm constantly reading books and doing courses to make sure I would deliver the best service to my clients. But the point is, you don't, being good is necessary, but not sufficient. So even though I am an amazing coaching, an amazing professional, I needed to let people know that I was good. So I was lacking that part in my business. I was not marketing myself properly. So I said, okay, I need to learn more about digital marketing. So I bought some courses in digital marketing with very good people from Brazil. I did a lot of courses. I did a mentoring with a couple, which is they are really good also in reference in Brazil for digital marketing. And I said, okay, now I understood because I had no idea how to do that. And Instagram is not as easy as people think. There are a lot of strategies on how you will structure your video, how you're going to start it, how long should it take, how you're going to edit. So I've learned everything about copywriting, editing videos on CapCut, how to how to create my own content. And I'm so happy because I am almost reaching 10,000 followers organically on Instagram. So I didn't invest $1, which is an amazing result. And now a lot of people
Absolutely.
are coming. So, and yes, it's funny because yesterday one of the clients I assisted yesterday, she's going to start the mentoring in January. And she said, I'm so excited with this meeting because you know what? I feel like meeting with an artist that I've seen so much on TV, and now I'm talking to him. And I was like, wow, thank you so much. So people are now giving me feedback. So I love your videos. I connect with your videos. I know how professional you are. So now, besides being a good coach, or I mean, besides studying a lot regarding everything on my field, I'm also letting people know, hey, I'm here.
Wow, cool. Tell me, have you ever thought, because now you are targeting Brazilians, you have, will you take your, do you have the vision to take your business online and offer to the Brazilian community? Because in UAE also there's a big Brazilian community. Have you
Yes.
ever thought of that?
Yes. So it's funny that you're asking me that because I have a very good friend. Her name is Carolina. She's from Ecuador. And she already has 3 courses, like online courses that she sells in Evergreen. I mean, it's always selling day and night to the whole world. And she told me, Rafa, you have to launch your first online course because this is also going to market yourself. This is also going to bring you more revenue so you can invest in other parts of your business. And I said, you're right. And she's, of course, she's ahead of me. And I always tell people and my clients that we have to be nearby people who are better than us. And I'm like, Caro, I need you to help me with that because that's a step I wanna make like next year. And she said, of course, I will help you. If you want, you can use my studio, whatever you want, I will help you. She's so kind. And she said, Rafa, I'm going to an event from Hotmart. I'm not sure if you have ever heard about Hotmart.
No, I
It's a
haven't.
Brazilian platform for online courses, one of the biggest in the market, like worldwide. And because she has a very good revenue monthly, they invited her to attend to an event to understand more about market practices, how you can launch your course and everything. And she said, do you want to come with me to this event? I can bring you with me. I can take you to go with me. And I said, Caro, thank you so much. Yes, I want. So that would be also a next step to 2026 to launch my first online course. And that one, I am not sure if I will launch in Portuguese or in English, but that will be a huge step that will also help Monarca to have more visibility.
Yeah. But I'll ask a question. Because I've been talking to people and I come from the learning and development background, there's a lot of mixed reviews about learning online,
Mm.
especially because it's a very isolated experience, you and the computer, especially if there is no, like when you learn with a cohort and face to face, you would experience that. There is the warmth, the human connection, the learning from other participants, which is missing in an online course. Say, for example, when you take from Coursera or Udemy, how would you navigate that part? Or have you ever given thought to that part?
That's also a very good question. So I'm 100% with you. So online courses, they are very uh, solitary. They are very, people feel like lonely. Okay, it's just me and the computer. And one of the biggest thing for my public, for my target, so training spouses, is that they feel lonely. They don't have friends. They don't have their family. They don't have deep connections. So that's why I created the mentoring groups. And next year, I'm going to start the Monarca community. So
Wow.
what's going to be that? Everybody that is finishing the mentoring process, which is one and a half month, they're going to enter into the community. And in this community, we will have meetings once a month. We will have WhatsApp group to connect. We'll be able to exchange. So, for example, I need someone to do my video editings, and then we'll have one Monarca in the group who is a video editor, so we can connect. So I need someone to help me with my business because I'm starting my business and I'm having problems to sell. So yesterday I had one I assisted one Monarca who runs her own company to help entrepreneurs to improve their sales. So I already see a lot of possibilities within this community to embrace this pain and to resolve this matter of being lonely, of not being part of something. So those women, they will be able to make part of community to be a monarcha in a group that is selected, that is only with expat women, and that I interviewed previously one by one.
Cool.
So that's
Lovely.
something I'm really, really excited about.
It is
And the
exciting. Yeah, the
yes,
collaboration and the
that
coming together
collaboration.
to rise together. Yeah.
Exactly. Because I feel that I always say that being a trailing spouse, only who really have been through this process understand the pros and cons of being a trailing spouse. Because if I talk to a friend who has never left Brazil and I say I feel lonely, I don't know anyone, I don't know how, I cannot communicate. I just moved to Switzerland, I don't know how to speak French. That's so frustrating. They will not understand as if I can, for example, talk to you and say, Dips, I'm struggling with that, and of course you say, Rafa, I totally hear you. I've been there.
Yes.
And we need more of that, because that's when you can feel connected.
Connected.
You can feel more, you can feel stronger to give your next step.
Wow. Cool. Um, Take me through quickly through the high points and the challenges of running Monarca.
High points. So high points is receiving feedback. So I had one Brazilian client, for example. She was running through a depression. But I, as a coach, I don't have a capability to treat depression. That's not what I do. And I said, okay, I can be your coach, but only if your psychologist allows you to go through this process. And then the psychologist allowed her to go through the process. We run the whole process. She was living in Panama by that time. And at the end of the process, she sent me a message that made me cry. And she said, Rafa, I feel that God gave me life and you taught me how to live it.
Wow.
I remember like crying when I saw that message, and then during the mentoring as well, people send me messages like, now I can understand myself better, I can understand better my husband, I can understand better my kids, my life has changed completely, thank you so much. Or I've gained the confidence I didn't have for long years to give to take my to go forward and give my take my next step. So for sure, this is the highest point. So my mission is to transform other expect lives. That's what moves me professionally. And the hardest part of running Monarca, which I think a lot of entrepreneurs might click with it and click with what I'm saying, it's we are alone doing everything. So Monarca nowadays is just me. It's, as we say in Brazil, it's a eu empresa, which means entrepreneurship by myself.
Yeah, solopreneur.
Solopreneur. So it's like I have to decide everything. How is going to be the product? How I'm going to market the product? I do the editing. I do filming. I do the copyright for everything. So I think that's the hardest part. So that's why I'm also excited to start the Monarca community, because that's also a pain for a lot of entrepreneurs, like who are also training spouses, that will be able to join in this community and support each other. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I think you feel the same, right? Like being an
Yes.
entrepreneur
Yes.
by
Especially
ourselves.
Emmy Hub also does that. Emmy Hub is exactly doing, but you have defined your target audience as expat, trailing spouses, specifically women. And whereas Emmy Hub is more diverse, it's more, it's for everybody who wants to learn entrepreneurship and build themselves through collaboration. Beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful. Okay, I'm just mindful of the time, and tell me what will be your nuggets of wisdom from your journey. For how many years you've been now? Monarca's been in existence.
3 years now. 3 years now. But actually, that I launched Monarca. This year was when I launched Monarca. I was already working as a coach, actually. But if I could tell you, Monarca it's going to turn 1 year in January, because this year was when I launched Monarca. I launched the visual identity. I'm always talking about Monarca mentorship. So 1 year. 1 year that I have this clearly vision for Monarca, clearly vision of the products Monarca has, what I want to add on top for next year. So 2025 was for me the year to launch and to put this dream to the world.
So nice. Tell me your nuggets of wisdom from that journey. In fact, you've been like 3 years as an executive coach and then 1 year as Monarca, the entire package, how you're growing it. Tell me what is that you've learned that you want our listeners who are starting off on their journey to remember, to be cautious, to be mindful about. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you're asking me that because, in fact, today when I was doing my morning pages and I was writing in the morning, I wake up 30 minutes before my usually time to write 3 pages in order to improve my creativity. And while I was writing it, I said, because I can hear some entrepreneurs saying, I never doubt I was going to have a lot of money or be referencing my niche. But I must tell you something. I did doubt sometimes, like in the past 3 years back, when I didn't have clients, when things were so hard, I was struggling to be a mom and launch my business. I did doubt, but I did not give up. I still kept my discipline. So you might doubt sometimes because things will get tough for you as an entrepreneur. But if I can give you one tip, it's fine to doubt, but don't give up. If you are tired, rest, but don't give up. Keep going. Because nowadays I don't doubt anymore. I'm really clear because things started happening. Now I think discipline met certainty. But in the past, I had just the discipline. And I think all entrepreneurs, they go through this journey. You have just the discipline, but you sometimes will still doubt. And then you'll get in one point that things will start growing and growing. You say, okay, now certainty met, discipline will explode.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Rafaela, for
Thank you for having me.
yeah. Your journey has been a combination of grit, putting yourself to the grind of managing 2 young children, 2 young boys, and your own journey through different countries, and yet coming up with a business that talks about addressing the challenges that you have as a person going through.
Exactly. So, and actually, I want to leave this message to all trading spouses. I know it's hard to be a trading spouse, and it is really hard. Uh, but if you want, you can convert this challenge into the best opportunity of your life. It just depends on you. And that's what happens to me, and that's what I work with my clients to make happen to them as well. Because now I work with the thing I am completely passionate about, and I would never be able to work with that if I had stayed in Brazil.
Yeah. So
So
your
that's
journey,
the
that's the message that you're sending to trading spouses.
exactly.
Yeah. So grit, grind, and gratitude. I know you do have a lot of gratitude for the entire journey. So thank you so much for being our guest today. And I'm sure there's a lot to learn from you and your journey and your resilience through this. If you like this interview, please don't forget to subscribe by pressing the bell icon and follow us on our social media handles as we talk to more and more micro entrepreneurs who are living their dreams boldly.